This is the Pugh M2 scooter, and it's not like many other scooters. I've been calling it the Tesla of scooters. I'm sure a lot of people would say that because of just the way it looks, but there's more to it than that. And honestly, I don't think this is a scooter for people who ride scooters. So who is it for? We're gonna get into that today. First, I want to give a big shout out to Pugh. I've been in constant conversation with them. I love what they're doing. We'll get into that a little bit more as well. There will be links in the description. If at any time during this video you'd like to pick up a Pugh scooter for yourself, check those links. I will try to get you all a pretty nice discount code. So, what is it? Well, it's obviously a scooter, but it's designed so beautifully, and that's because it's coming from a team of guys from the automotive industry. Jaguar, Land Rover, Williams. So these are guys who have taken luxury vehicles and thought, how can we make a scooter that fits that mold and that lifestyle? Now, why does it exist? Well, Pugh says there's this market between people who love going like 70 miles an hour on a scooter, who have like crazy massive tires and it's almost like closer to a bike than a scooter. There's that market. Then there's the market of like razor scooters where the steering is like this while you're riding it. The wheels are about this big, they fold up, they're flimsy, they're cheap. There's this middle ground of people who might just want to get around their city, their daily commute, with a very well-designed, sturdy, easy to ride. You can technically take both hands off of this thing. They don't suggest it, but you can because of a very specific type of thing they've done in the chassis, which we'll get to here in a second as well. But Pugh sort of saw an industry where there aren't nicely designed scooters, and it can be a very great way of getting from A to B on your daily commute. But this product from the ground up has been designed and intentionally thought through, which you know we love on this channel. Products that marry form and function, products that improve our lives and looks good while doing so. So this is what the scooter is meant to do. And as always in this video, we're gonna start with the form. So I can just show you a picture of the scooter and you can tell it's designed well. Premium materials, solid build quality, just thoughtful, intentional. It literally looks like a more rounded Cybertruck design, a Lucid Air car design. Like there's a light bar on here. It's just so nice to look at. Part of the intentional design is they didn't want the scooter to fold. With folding scooters, it's definitely convenient for space. You can fold something up, throw it in the back of your car. But the problem with that hinge is no matter how good it is, there's still ability for movement to happen between those two pieces, right? So they wanted a unibody design that was gonna add so much stabilization to the scooter that like a grandma could get on this thing and ride it. The chassis is a solid piece of aluminum, basically forged like it would be in a car. And I think personally that minimal satin finish is really nice. However, they do have some special editions. They have a black one, which looks amazing as well. I think they have a gold one, and then they have like a polished one as well, which is more shiny. All of them look amazing. One of the key features that I really like is their lock and load system, which are these two hidden metal loops that you can pull out either to hang your book bag or your grocery run on, but also it doubles as a way of locking the scooter to a bike rack, which basically, using a bike lock, it straps the whole scooter's chassis to whichever bike rack you're using. So it's like impossible, unless you were to somehow cut off the bike lock, to get this thing off the bike rack when you're not using it. So safety is huge there. And I love that there's that intentionality between both things. It is both a way to lock up the scooter and also to carry your book bag if you don't want to wear it. Like I said, your groceries. Another thing is this scooter is quite large, which also helps with maneuverability and the easy ride. It looks and feels planted, and it rides that way. Every surface that you touch or see or interact with feels intentionally designed and overbuilt. Like they spent so much time and effort designing and building this thing, and it really does shine through when you experience riding it and seeing it in person. It honestly feels like something you'd park next to an EV charging station rather than a bike rack. It's just so nice. But let's talk about the function of the Pugh scooter. How does it work? What does it feel like? What all does it do? And I think something to note here is, in a lot of ways, it feels like an Apple product. It does things well Very simple, intuitive, easy to use, and that even goes all the way back to like the unboxing experience. Bo spent a lot of time with packaging so that all you have to do is when the box arrives, you take the box off and you're ready to ride it. There's literally zero setup. Now that costs the company because they have a funny shaped L-looking package. They have to box it up nicely so it doesn't get damaged in transit. So it costs them a lot of money to ship this thing to you, but they wanted that experience to get up and running as seamless and as simple as possible. And it truly is. But there are some nerdy specs we could get into. For instance, there's a 1270 watt peak motor experience with this. Quite a bit of torque. This isn't about going blindingly fast, but it's about power and consistent and serious pull. Going uphill on this is a breeze. It feels like effortless. Now you have the Bo M2 scooter, which is the one they sent out for us. There's also the Bo M1 scooter, which has a little bit less range, a little bit less top speed. I think it goes up to 14, 15 miles an hour. This one can go up to 22. I think we've gotten it up to 25 miles per hour. And then the M2 also has about 42 miles of range on a single charge. Now, the ride feel on this is incredible. There's not any suspension, but because of air deck, which is like this really cushioned part of the deck that you stand on, that absorbs a lot. The tires are fairly large and they're filled with air, so that absorbs a lot. It's really, really comfortable, almost like deceivingly so, because there aren't shocks or suspension in this thing. It's quite the marvel. There's dual brakes set up here, so one of them is a standard braking system. The other is actually regenerative braking, which means it puts power back into the battery when you use the braking system, which is very reminiscent of other electric vehicles. Tesla, for instance, does this, and many others. But having it in a scooter is pretty sweet. There's a full lighting system. You have a headlight on the handlebars. You also have that halo light, which I mentioned before, which sort of gives light basically 180 degrees around the front of you, and then there is a brake light in the back as well. All of them are super bright, fantastic lighting. It's waterproof. You can ride this in the rain. Not a big issue. Easy to clean because there isn't much surface area. It's all well thought out. And that piece I mentioned earlier, which is sort of a standout feature here, is something that Bo calls safe steer. It basically keeps you automatically balanced. Now, I'm not talking about like you can step on this and like be standing still and it keeps upright, like I've seen like some weird bikes or like Segways kind of do this thing. Basically, it's a spring loading system in the chassis where the handlebars want to go back to center. So even going at low speeds, you're not going like this over bumps and stuff. It's very solid because of that spring system. And I can attest, like, I think that your grandma or grandpa could probably get on this and hit the power and go. It's so stable. It kind of doesn't make any sense. Right. So who is this for? Honestly, I think someone who loves scooters, like I mentioned before. I have a buddy named Jay who rides really fast scooters and has shocks and like a whole setup. I think for that type of person, this could be more of like a weekender device, like something, or even like a day-to-day device, just getting around town, more relaxing, going on a greenway or like a nice bike path. I definitely don't think it's for the person who's looking for a $50 scooter to like tear it up at the skate park. This to me feels like for the young city dweller who lives a few blocks away from where they work, who has a grocery store a few blocks away. You know, like I said, this has 42 miles of range on a charge, so like it'll last you a few weeks if you're not riding 10 miles a day, of course. But it's just a really solid, stylish, efficient way to get around town. And I think, you know, as more of the ride sharing scooters hit cities and cause problems, I think this is just a more personable way to invest in transportation that has an upfront cost of over $1,000. I think the Bo M1 is around $1,300. This one's around $1,800, the M2. But honestly, if you're ditching your car every day for this and you're only charging it up every 42 miles, it can save you on gas, it can save you on, you know, public transport, having to be next to people with smelly armpits holding the things in the subway. I don't know. It looks nice, it turns heads, it feels nice. It's just a premium way for personal transport. And I'm honestly a huge fan. So yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily made for scooter riders, but I think scooter riders would love this. I think people who ride skateboards would love this. I think people who ride bikes to and from work would love this, especially if you have an electric bike. There's a lot of similarities. Honestly, Bo feels less like a scooter and more like a personal vehicle. And I think that's what makes it so special. Thanks again to Bo, Harry, and the team. I love you guys. I'm excited to continue learning more about the scooter, what you're doing. You can find out more about the company, about the scooters, about what they have planned at the links in the description to their website. And again, we'll try to get you all a nice discount code as well. Thanks so much for watching. On this channel, we talk about tech and products that marry form and function. We like tech and products that improve our lives and look good while doing so. So if that sounds cool to you, please subscribe, like this video for more, watch that video next. I think you're gonna love it. And we'll see you all in the next one.